Welcome to another Running Dog Art instructional video. Today I thought I'd show you a little bit about double weave. There's a few videos out there, and I would suggest have a look at all of them. Sometimes the way somebody explains something might make a little bit more sense to you than some other videos, and I'm just hoping that this one will help to explain double weave to somebody who's trying to figure it out. So this is what double weave is. Basically, it's a weaving process where the pattern is the same on the front and the back. So the pattern is the same, the colors are reversed. So the design color on the front and the back are just reversed. So if you've got red on one side, the design will be white on the opposite side. And the patterns that I'm using here are from some patterns that I got from Linda Hendrickson's designs. And it was from 50 designs from around the world, Linda Hendrickson. So you can look up that name if you're looking to find a copy of these designs. And this is what the design looks like. Double weave, at least her patterns that I've seen. This is a graph of the pattern, so you'll see it would look like that for the design that I'm currently doing. The finished design like that, oh, you can't quite see it, it's underneath here. So that's one way to look at the design. Another way would look like this with a series of numbers. And these numbers will represent either the design, the shaded in areas, or the white, your background threads. So let me see. When you are threading for double weave, so when you're threading your cards, I've used here colored. These are plastic file folder cards that I have cut, punched some holes in, and you can get lots of different colors, and I just find it really convenient for doing stuff like this with a lot of cards where, and I put them in sets of 2, and it just helps me to count across. It just makes it easier. So for double weave, the labels, the A, B, C, and D that you often see on tablet cards don't really make a whole lot of difference to this. When you're threading the cards, the main thing to remember is that when you're threading, you usually have 2 colors. And for example, if you do A and B with the design color, do C and D with your background color. It doesn't have to be A and B, but just as long as they're next to each other, not diagonally, but next to each other. So I have 2 red here, and I have 2 white on the opposite side. And do that for all of them. So thread all of your cards and then sort them all out so you have 2 white and 2 red, or whatever your color pattern is. The other thing to remember when threading your cards is that before you start to weave, all of your cards need to be threaded SZ, 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 alternating like that, so that your cards, as you can see here, well, maybe not those ones, but let's look at these. They will turn in opposite directions. Each one will be like any one I take out. There goes my shuttle. Will be opposite directions like that. S and Z threaded. Put them all together like that. When you're looking at your pattern, there's a few things that you need to know about reading a pattern in double weave. Each rectangle that you see going across this way represents 1 tablet. Each rectangle, 1 tablet. Coming up the column in double weave, each rectangle will represent 2 turns, and they will either be 2 turns forward or 2 turns backward. It goes in pairs, which is why on the edge here, you will see a B or an F. B means backward, F means forward. So that means forward, F means forward this way. Backward is turning toward you this way. So your cards are going to turn backward or forward. Let me see. What else can I tell you about that? I did that. Oh, yes. Your border cards, the 2 cards on either end here, these are always going to turn forward. That will make more sense now in a minute, because normally when I am tablet weaving, for me to keep track of what I'm doing, the cards that I'm turning forward, I always tend to put up here. I just push them ahead a little bit like this. And I just know myself, if they're ahead, that means they're going to go forward. If I keep them toward the bottom, I'm going to turn them backward. In double weave, this is not necessarily the case, because what you're going to work with, you're going to have 2 packs of cards, a design pack and a background pack. The design pack will be making your pattern like this. This will be the design pack. The forward and backward refers to the pack that is toward you down here. Your design pack is going to be whatever is left over from your instructions for here. This is going to make sense in a second, trust me. So the other part of this pattern looks like this, with blocks. Some of them are shaded. The shaded blocks, they're the design pack cards. And again, you have backward or forward. Let me just show you. This is going to make sense. It truly isn't quite this complicated. So the other handy thing is a ruler. And what I do when I'm weaving is I'll place the ruler just below the line I'm working on. Or you can work with the picture. Either one it's no different. I just find it easier to work with the numbers. So right here, I've just made a little mark. I'm working on row 17, which is this one here. And it's a backward turning row. And the first block represents the first 2 cards. There's 7, 8, 6. Let me just show you what that means. Now I've dropped my shuttle. There we go. So I'm going to bring my shuttle through and get that ready. Now, in this row, right here, row 17, it's a backward turning row. So the first 2 cards, well, this means that the cards that are going backward, these are the ones down here. I'm going to push these down. The first 2 cards, remember I said that this is going to make sense soon. My border cards are always going to be going forward. And as this says that the first 2 cards, I know are my border cards, they're going forward, so they need to go up here. The next ones that I have, I need 7. So 2, 4, 6, 7. They need to turn opposite, so they're the ones that are going backward. Remember the B? 2 forward. That means that these 7 are going backward. 2, 4, 6, 7 are going backward. Then I have the next group of numbers is 8. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're going forward. There we go. 2, 7, 8. Then I've got 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. These are going backward. 6, 5. The next. 4, 5. Forward. Bear with me for a second. 5, 3, and 8. 3, 3, 4, 5, 8. What's next? Where am I? 8, 7, and 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 2. So here are my cards, and I'm just going to explain to you now so this makes more sense. Here's my cards. So I have a backward turning and a forward turning. The shaded ones here that we see, anything that's shaded, I know are in my design pack. These are the ones that are going to be red. The unshaded, the ones that are in white, are the ones that are in the opposite direction. So we know that these here, which are going backward, it's always the ones on the bottom toward me. That's going to tell you what direction they're turning. So these are going backward because it says to turn them backward. All of the other ones are going in the opposite direction. So these are going forward. Now, I'm just going to move them up just a little, not all the way. And I'm going to pack that down and weave. Put my shuttle through again. Now, we always do 2 turns. That was the first one. Now we do the second one. These are going backward. These are going forward. Now I can squish them up together. We've had those 2 turns. Weave this lot. Pull my thread. And get ready for the next turn. So that was row 17. Let me show you what we just did. We did that row right above the ruler. And this is what it looks like. This row right here. Now, I know that seemed a bit complicated, but bear with me now. We're going to do the next one. So these are alternating. You're going to have a backward, forward, backward, forward. We're now going to be on row 18. And row 18 says that we're going to be turning forward. The forward and backward turning motion refers to the group of cards that are closer to you. The cards that are farther away from you are going to be doing the opposite of whatever the ones down here are doing. So this time, we need 8 cards to start with, and they're going to be turning forward. So let us get 8 cards, 2, 4, 6, 8 cards, the first 8 right here. They're going to be turning forward. The forward and backward refer to the direction of the cards that are going to be down here. So if it says forward, that means that the cards on the bottom are turning forward. Our border cards are always turning forward, so you know they belong in this pack. So that's the first 8. First 8, 20, and you'll notice that 20 is shaded. The shaded cards, these are the design packs, the ones that are shaded. So the next 20 cards, let's count them out. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 are up here because they're going to be turning backwards. What's the next? Let me just move them here so I can... 2 is the next group. They're going to be down here, moving forward. Then we have a 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. They're going to be going up here. And we should have 8 cards left. 2, 4, 6, 8. And we do. That's good. So let me just move them here like this so you can see. There's my group of cards. We're on row 18. There's an F here. That means, remember that, whatever that forward or backward means the direction of the cards that are here. These are the forward turning cards. So we're going to turn them forward. If these cards turn forward, these cards have to turn the opposite direction. They're going to go backwards. Let's just move them up. And we will pack that down fairly tight. Weave. Put our shuttle through. Because, remember, every time we turn, we're going to do it twice. So these cards are going forward. These cards are going backward. That's our 2 turns. We can mush them up together. And let us pack that down. Pull our thread through. That's another row. Now we've got that done. We just finished that row right there, right above the ruler. And this is what it looks like. Now we are on to 18. We're on to row 19. Now you'll notice here there's a B because it alternates forward, backward, forward, backward. And again, the pack that's here is going to be going backward. The first 2 cards are a 2. The first 2 cards are our border cards. The border cards always move forward. Because we know that this group has got a B for backward, that means that the cards that we're pushing down here have to go backwards. That means that these border cards are going to be in the group toward the top. 19, so that's 2. The next one is a 5. 2, 4, 5. They're going down here, the opposite. Forward, backward. What do we got next? 25. All right. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 5. These cards are going forwards. 25, and I know they're going to be there because they're shaded. That's our design. Then we have a 6 and a 3. 2, 4, 6. The next lot is 3. 6 and 3 and 5 and 2. 3, 4, 5, and the last 2. So here's our 2 border cards. They're in the design going forward. So once again, let's look at this. We're on row 19, which has a B. B for turning backward. Remember again, the forward and backward refer to the direction that the cards down here are turning. They are going to be going backwards, which means that the cards here are going the opposite direction. They're going forward. And now we are going to beat that. We're doing it again because every time we're doing it twice. So these are going backward. These are going forward. That's our second time round. And squat that down. And we're ready to weave the next row. So that was row 19, right above the ruler. So let's look at this. Here it is here. That was the row we just did right there. And you can see our edges. They're going alternating right here, just like see on our pattern going down here. So let's do another row. So we will be on row 20 this time. 20 will be going forward. That means that the pack of cards that are going to be down here on the bottom will be going forward. So we know that our 2 edge cards will be turning forward. So we're going to pull those right down there because that's the group that's going to be going forward. So we're going to need 6 of those. So that's 2, 4, 6. So that's an easy one because basically there's 36 cards in the middle and 6 on the end. So let's take the 6 end, 2, 4, 6. And if all goes right, there should be 36 cards up there. 6, 36, and 6 going forward. Remembering the cards that are on the bottom, the forward refers to the direction that the cards on the bottom will be turning. They're going forward. So we'll turn them forward. That means that these cards are going in the opposite direction. And let's weave that. So there we have almost everything here is in the design. Put our shuttle through. Remember, we're doing this twice. Now, if you're weaving and you go, oh my, was that once or twice I did that? You can tell on the side. Just notice here that the colors of my threads are on the top. The white is on the top and the red is on the bottom. Horizontally, not vertically, but horizontally. That will tell you that I've got to do that one more time. So these are going forward and these are going backward. And let's finish that. Give it a good strong beat. And there we are, ready to go again. So that's what that looks like there. I know it may seem a little confusing, but when you get going with this, it'll make more sense as you're doing it. Just remember in double weave a few things to keep in mind. You'll have 2 decks. One is the design cards, and those are the ones that are making your pattern. The other thing to remember is that each time you sort your cards, you're going to weave twice, both going in the same direction. Third thing is the cards that are toward the bottom, that you're separating, the ones on the bottom, they're the ones that the forward and backward represent. They're the cards that are going to be either going the backward or the forward according to this. The other cards are going to go the opposite direction. Your border cards, remember to put those with the pack that's turning forward. And you should get a result that will look something like this. And I think I have covered everything that I thought you should know. So I hope that helps somebody. I know it might seem a little bit confusing, but when you get working with it, it will make more sense as you go. Hope that helps anyone. Thanks for watching.